This is Adam Creighton, one of the producers on Disney Epic Mickey. And we're here to give you a first look at Disney Epic Mickey, Disney Interactive Studios' exclusive Wii title coming this holiday season. Frankly, I gotta tell you, I am still unbelievably amazed that Disney has allowed me to make a game starring Mickey Mouse. He's the crown jewel of the company and one of the best known, most recognizable icons on the planet. He's been the biggest movie star in the world. He's been a television celebrity, a constant presence at theme parks, friend and teacher to our kids. It blows me away. Most of us have never met and will never meet anyone who doesn't know about Mickey and have a personal relationship with him. But for all the success he's achieved in other media, it's always felt to me that he hasn't quite become the video game star he deserves. If my team and I have our way, that's about to change. But there's even more to be excited about. In addition to Mickey Mouse, Disney Epic Mickey marks the first time Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Walt's first cartoon star, has appeared in a new Disney story since 1928. I'm so proud to be a part of Oswald's comeback, you have no idea. And he makes that comeback in the role of ruler of a land called Wasteland. Wasteland is a world honoring 80 years of Disney creativity. A world populated by forgotten, rejected, retired characters, movie locations, concept art, theme park attractions from Disney's past. It's a world both familiar and strange, as varied and memorable, we hope, as the real Disney stories and lands that inspired it. Once it was a pleasant enough place ruled by Oswald, its first inhabitant. But Wasteland has become a ravaged land, thanks to an accident caused by Mickey Mouse. Mickey's innocent mischief unleashed a monster, an updated and frightening version of the Phantom Blot, one of Mickey's perennial foes. And the Blot dragged Mickey into the Wasteland, trapping him there. He has to escape, of course, but he shows up in this world of forgotten and rejected characters saying, "I'm not forgotten, I'm not rejected." But as he tries to escape, he realizes he has to accept responsibility for causing the devastation of this land by unleashing the Blot. He has to defeat the Blot. He has to restore the land. But most important to me, he has to reconnect with his half-brother Oswald. The land we're looking at now is called Ventureland. It's a quest map. Here you talk to other characters the way Adam was just doing. You learn about quests. You buy tools and supplies that you can use in your further adventures. Now, Adam is talking to a character called Smee. Actually, it's not Smee, it's a rejected concept for Smee, a character you may recognize from Peter Pan. He's learning what Mickey has to do to continue making progress in his quest. And he's also learning about an optional quest, something you can do or not do, depending on how you decide to play. In Ventureland, in addition to Smee, you may recognize some characters, other rejected versions of pirates that eventually made it into Peter Pan. And there's some gremlins around. You may have seen a reference to Gus a little while ago. The gremlins were created by Disney and children's book author Roald Dahl back in the 40s. And we want to remind people about that. You might not recognize the gremlins, but there are plenty of locations in the game that may be familiar. Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, the Tiki Room, and others. Those attractions may be gone from the park now. They may be upgraded to the point of not being recognizable. But they still have a life. They still exist in Wasteland. Identifying the real Disney stuff is part of the fun of playing the game. I hope Disney fans play the "Where did that come from? What's the real reference?" game as they play. But honoring Disney's past, while it was clearly important, wasn't enough. To make Mickey a video game star, to take him to new heights of video game success, we knew we couldn't just look back at Disney's history or at Mickey's past successes. We had to look forward. We had to offer players something new, something innovative, something never seen before. Our key innovation, Adam is showing it off right now, drawing and erasing, using Mickey's new ability to control the essence of his cartoon being, paint and paint thinner. Using paint and thinner, players can puddle or erase characters, objects, walls, floors, the ground itself, or they can restore everything to beautiful painted glory. In other words, players can dynamically change the game world to save it. But how you change the world and interact with characters matters. It changes the way the world looks, of course, but also it changes how characters treat you. what they tell you or don't tell you, how much help they're willing to give you along the way, and how each character's story ends. Or as I like to put it, play style matters. In Disney Epic Mickey, players have real choices to make that have real consequences. You race too much, and the characters who live here will get upset and offer you less help and information. But erasing things can also reveal hidden treasures. It can open up new ways to access places you might want to go. It's often the easiest way to solve problems. Conversely, painting things can reveal platforming paths that might have been inaccessible before. It can even turn enemies into friends. So the key question for each of you as you play is, how will you use Paint and Thinner as you interact with Smee and the other inhabitants of Wasteland, and how you help them solve their problems? Now, once you've learned about your quest, and optionally, you've restored as much Adventureland as you want, it's time to move on to another map. Disney Epic Mickey combines 3 game styles. It's part adventure, part platform game, and part role-playing game. So it's no surprise that the game actually features 3 distinct types of places to explore. We call them quest zones, which you've just seen, travel zones, which you'll see in a second, and action zones. Mickey knows, because he talked to Smee, he has to get to Skull Island, which is an action zone. There his next challenges await. To get there, Mickey leaps into a movie screen. Movie screens like this lead to travel zones. These are side-scrolling adventures inspired by real cartoons. Now, here's one obviously reminiscent of Steamboat Willie, the cartoon that introduced Mickey to the world back in 1928. There are many more cartoons in the actual game, which gives us an opportunity both to honor Disney's creative history and also the classic platform games we've all known and loved since the 8-bit days. Now you notice that Adam isn't actually using Paint and Thinner here. The magic brush, which is the way Mickey accesses his Paint and Thinner abilities, doesn't work in these travel zones. We're going to leave that a mystery. But Mickey's running, sneaking, jumping, spinning abilities, like classic platform characters, are more than enough to get through these maps. And they allow him to emerge in a new land waiting to be explored and potentially restored. So, once you reach another movie screen, as Adam has here, it's time to leap through it and into another land. So, this is Skull Island. Obviously, it's Oswald's The Wasteland's version of Skull Rock from Peter Pan, but somewhat changed. This is an action zone. Alright, here you're going to use what you learned in the quest zones to engage in missions that can affect the way your story unfolds and change the lives of all the characters you've interacted with. It's all action all the time in these places. Now, Smee told Mickey he has to find and raise a sunken pirate ship to continue on his adventure. He also told him about an optional mission that he can do to rescue pirates who are being turned into robotic monsters called Beetlelords. Now here, what you just saw is Adam had some tactical decisions to make. He obviously had to decide whether he was going to do this side quest, which goes straight for the bad guys attacking the Wasteland. But he also has some tactical decisions to make. He erased one of those enemies, just made him go away, and the game is tracking that he did that. He also friended one. He used paint to turn into a friend, and that friended enemy would then help him. Advance. Thank you. So you have to decide if you're going to take the time to spend the resources and take the time to help other people or not. You can go looking for fights, or you can ignore them. Okay? You can friend enemies, or you can make them go away. The goals are absolutely clear. You know you have to raise Smee's boat and continue on your adventure. You can decide whether to help the pirates or not. But how you do those things, whether you're friending or erasing enemies, that's up to each of you to decide as you play. Remember, playstyle matters. And at the high level, that's what Disney Epic Mickey's all about. We want to honor Disney's past while offering players and Disney fans something new. The whole goal is to put players in charge of the experience. Most games, what they do is they tell you, here's what you're going to do, player. Are you good enough to do it?